Namaste, angels. This is the weekly general reading for the period of the 14th through the 20th, I believe it is. We're starting with the dice with Try Again, Spend Money, and Romantic Dinner. Romantic dinner may be because of the 14th. You know, some of you are going to do that. And look, as soon as I dropped it, you see the 29 there. That, of course, that's all about spiritual partnership. And we have sex also. We continue to have romantic dinner. So maybe the sex follows or precedes or both. You know, enjoy to all of those for whom that applies. And with the spiritual partnership, we have buy shoes. This could be, I mean, this is the general reading. It could be a business partnership, a friendship, a romantic situation. But there may be a reason why you would want to buy shoes. Maybe for a date, maybe for a business meeting, or something. I don't know. And the last one is email. So that may be how you contact one another. The cards, I figure we'd shuffle and then put away the ones that we don't need right now. So for some advice, at least, I'm going to use these, not Keepers of the Light. These remind me of the Keepers of the Light cards. What are they called? Work Your Light. These were a gift, actually, from one of my viewers. I did a little video about it to thank her. Okay. So, starting with Longing for Home, Belonging, and the original Lightworkers. Also upright is Sisterhood of the Rose, Beauty and Devotion, Priestess, Mystic Teacher. Feels very High Priestess / Empress. Trust the Niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? We've seen a lot of messages like this recently, like really, really guiding us to pay close attention to all kinds of signs and synchronicity and things. I think we're going to be shown just like a number of things, and it's going to be like very fast and you know, like with quick manifestation and all that kind of stuff. And leap. You go first, and the universe will catch you, and that was the last. I started to say that it was the last before I even knew that it was, and that was why I caught myself. All right, so we'll shuffle. This one's about the Pleiades. Which, let me mention the Pleiades because we've seen so much Taurus come up, and I think it may be associated with the year of the ox, which I hope to talk about at the end of the reading after I do the cards. So those of you who are here for the cards, you could watch that and, you know, leave, you know, or choose to stay. And for those of you who like to hear what I, you know, have to say about stuff in general, you would stick around. And I hope to talk about the year of the ox, of course. Ox is very likened to the bull or Taurus, and the energy of an ox on the Chinese zodiac is very much like that of an earth sign on the Western zodiac. So I say all that to say, in connection to Pleiades, of course, the Pleiades is said to be the sort of domain of thought from ancient Egypt, and his 5 daughters, and the realm or home of like the Minotaur from Greek mythology. So we have that energy of the bull there, and all of this is located within the constellation of Taurus, the bull. So double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. Lemuria. That's interesting too. I opened to 2 of these sort of ancient homes for some of us, opposite one another, the Pleiades and Lemuria. Creating heaven on earth, it's happening. Okay, how many believe that? I guess everybody, right? But if you don't believe that, you probably wouldn't be on my channel. I don't know. So Pleiades again. And Keepers of the Earth. You're not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. So we'll cut these and just prepare them for use later. Dance with life. Do something to change your energy. Is going to be the card we start with later. with this is the angel therapy cards. And I got lazy and pulled these out. I'm sure there's a reason. I was guided initially to use my Archangel Raphael card, which I haven't used in forever. And actually, I was just like, I don't feel like going through all these boxes. I have so many boxes of tarot cards and oracle cards. I mean, you may not know it because I often use like the same ones in my public readings in particular, but I really, really do. I have like tons of cards. So I didn't feel like looking for Archangel Raphael, and I saw, you know, the angel therapy instead, and I said, I'll use those. How about that? So we're starting with fairies, which is also a very, it's an earth energy. So it could definitely be connected for me to not only earth energy and the energy of Taurus, as well as that of Virgo and Capricorn, but to the year of the ox, perhaps. You have a strong bond with fairies, and your life purpose involves helping Mother Nature. The next card is also upright. It's cancel, clear, and delete. Use only positive words and thoughts as they are rapidly manifesting into form. This is what I was talking about a moment ago. I just said I felt like things were going to be happening very quickly. Ask the angels to cancel the effects of past negative thinking. And third eye chakra. It is safe for you to see the energy of love in all of its forms, such as angels, auras, and visions. Be willing to forgive. I started to say lastly again. Let's see if this is the last one that's upright. Be willing to forgive. Ask the angels to clear your mind and body of past pain in exchange for peacefulness. Okay, I would have been 2 for 2. I didn't go for it. Opening to heal away from addictions. Heal away addictions. Mediumship. So connecting with spirits, past life issue. We'll do one more. And it is emotional sensitivity. Clear yourself. Ask the angels to release any toxic energies that you may have absorbed. Oh, the next one is twin flame. Maybe it's in preparation for this connection. You got to get rid of funky energy first. The answer to your question involves a spiritually based romantic relationship. And with the Right Away cards, which I'm going to use first, we're beginning with the Nine of Swords in reverse. So the Nine of Swords is a card that's all about worry and anxiety, and it could even get into mental health for me, the way that I pick up the energy. But it's like not just worry like for no reason, whereas that's the general meaning of the Nine of Swords. Like it warns against potentially manifesting negativity into your own life because you're thinking about things and worrying about things, you know, thinking about things in a negative way and worrying about things that you can't change and probably don't exist. So it's like you're creating them. It's potentially a manifestation of your own mind, or there's a potential for that to happen, right? Self-fulfilling prophecies. But in reverse, it says, you know, there may be reason to be concerned, although, you know, you still have to ask the question, like, what's worrying going to do? It would be better to take some sort of action. So in a general sense, it can mean that maybe you've had some concerns about something or someone, and they might be legitimate. So finances, work, love and relationships, it can involve, like, you know, some sort of disloyalty, infidelity. If you're having trust issues, you may need to have a conversation. The next card is upright. So this situation may involve family, some sort of uncertainty in your family or with loved ones. And it could just be one loved one, whether that's romantic or not. Something like disrupting joy. And look, boom, I open to the Tower on that note. Tower can have to do with an actual tower structure, building like a home. So thinking about it in conjunction to family, maybe something going on in your household or with your home. Not necessarily bad, especially with seeing the Three of Cups. It could just be something unexpected. It comes in very quickly, very fast. It's manifested, just like I was saying. Four of Swords, of course, a card of rest. Here we have another 8, another Swords themed card, just the 8. I also saw the 7 slip in there a couple times. That was the 7 of Swords. It's about the potential to miss out on some sort of opportunity, either because someone else takes it from you or blocks you from it, or because you rob yourself of it with fear, anxiety, lack of confidence. It could be about actually losing something like material, tangible, or having something stolen from you, material, tangible. So maybe something going missing from your home for somebody. And then all that talk about manifestation, our overall energy this week is Major Arcana card 1, the Magician, which represents most directly the sign of Gemini and the planet Mercury, which goes direct this week. That's one of the things I'll talk about after the cards. And we have more Mercury, potentially right behind it with the King of Swords upright, does represent for me the planet Mercury, even potentially the planet Venus, even though it's a masculine energy or male that's presented here on the card, in the physical or aesthetic. And, as well as the signs of, again, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, and those likened to the traits and attributes of those signs, those energies. We also have partnership, an energy of partnership showing up here. And you know what? It makes great sense because the Aquarius full moon, well, the sun is also still in Aquarius right now, but the Aquarius, I'm sorry, not full moon, new moon that we just experienced is all about healthy relationships. Oh, excuse me. I don't know if that was angels telling me, yes, talk about this, or if that was just a sneeze. I don't believe in coincidences, though. Yes, healthy relationships, true love, genuine love between, you know, family members, friends, and of course, romantic partners. Something on the horizon in that regard. It might not be here today. It might not happen tomorrow. It may take a little bit of patience. Threes can involve patience, but this is something that's being manifested. We just need one more wand here, right? For a 4 of Wands, happy home. And it may involve you making an active decision, a conscious decision to choose, you know, one path or another, and to put some effort toward the outcome that you're looking for. Maybe take a leadership role even for success. All right. So I'm going to pull some specific cards for the week. First one is going to most directly represent us, and it's that 8 of Swords. So we're starting out from a place of fear, again, worry, anxiety, maybe lack of confidence or low self-esteem, insecurity, something like that. Surrounding energy, close friends, family members, co-workers, and such. 2 of Wands. Very nice. Very loving energy. Maybe back because of Valentine's Day. The influence of Valentine's Day, perhaps. But, of course, 2s are largely about partnership. Work and finance. 7 of Cups. Somebody's going to start their own business or be thinking about it. Maybe, again, going into a partnership. Love and relationship. Whoa. It is Major Arcana card 6, the Lovers. More Gemini, more Mercury, and maybe because of Mercury going, like I said, direct this week, maybe it's going to free up that energy and allow us to have better communications. Or again, this could be the influence of fellow air sign Aquarius and Venus, which is one of Gemini's rulers, being located there, as well as the new moon and the sun, that are going to work on our relationships and make sure that we're only focus these days on healthy and happy ones that are conducive to growth and reciprocity, and that any toxic or negative ones are falling away, or, we're consciously chucking them, right? Throwing up the deuces. Physical health. Somebody needs some rest. Could be actual sleep. I've done a lot of healings lately. A lot of you needed that. And, I don't always feel the effects of what my clients are going through. But they've done a number on me too. Like, it made me very, very tired as well. Last but not least, spiritual health. It is Judgment in reverse. Very interesting. And not many, only one reversal this week. That's kind of new for us. So as I mentioned a couple of times during this reading already, I felt the energy of not necessarily the magician specifically, but manifestation, and being very strong this week and very rapid. And maybe that's because Mercury's going direct. Maybe that's why I was sent that message. But now we have the cards confirming. And the magician is about making like better, stronger, higher use of our power, right? Spiritual power, emotional, right? Strength, and just everywhere, maybe even physical. And it's another one of these cards that also signifies new beginnings, and really just having high and sort of great expectations of what's to come, like what the future holds, what life is going to be. So that alone makes for an exciting week. It's a very positive omen to show up in a reading, especially like our overall energy, not only because it's major arcana, and those are the cards that tend to represent energy that you're actually, like you're definitely going to experience. And the part that'll be up to you is how you receive it and how you, navigate the energy. But it's definitely coming when it's major arcana. That's the way I read the cards anyway. Well, it's not only that, but it reminds us that we have the power to like make change and make a difference in our lives and, the greater scheme of things in terms of humanity and the world, if we focus on it, right? It requires this sort of focus, intention, and thought. And, it's not about magic in the sense of, like you need to do a spell or something like that. I actually don't believe in practicing magic. I know people consider tarot magic, but like practicing magic in sort of like the definitive sense, black or white. I'm against all that stuff. Love spells even, I am against manipulating another's free will. If the universe wouldn't do it to us, if God wouldn't do it, like who am I to be doing that? So I'm totally against magic, and I don't do it. But to clarify, it's not even about like, illusions and performances and stuff. It's more about actual transformation of our worlds, whether immediate or again at large, in sort of normal ways, just based on what we put out into the universe, what we speak over ourselves, what we think. It's about having the potential to live like as we choose and desire and all of that, because it really is about what you attract. So prayer and intention, the law of attraction, to me, it's all the same thing. It's about focusing on something and drawing it near. We can do it negatively with this type of energy, right? Of the Eight of Swords, with fear and anxiety. If that's what we're focused on, that's what we're thinking about, that's what we're projecting out into the universe, that's what we can attract. Things that are restrictive and hold us back, right? But we can do the opposite. We can do good also with the energy of the magician. And the magician is so much stronger than the Eight of Swords. It's also about action though, right? It's like again, you have to be the one to do the praying, to make the intention, you know, and to hold the focus and to have the faith. Even with regard to prayer, the Bible itself says, like, prayer without works is dead. Like, you cannot just pray and then leave the rest up to the universe or to God. We have to take some sort of action too and put something toward it, put some effort toward what it is we want our outcome to be. Even if it's just, you know, the fact of, again, holding on to that prayer and that intention in a focused way and maintaining the faith to believe that it can come to pass. That's still you putting your effort. And if we don't do that, if we don't try, we won't get, is really, I guess, the bottom line with this card. And also says we may see a lot of synchronicities, which I also said in the reading at the start before I laid any of the cards, that I just felt that this was going to be, based on the other readings that I've done, the cards that we've pulled, we're going to be seeing many synchronicities that point toward, you know, like really deep spiritual events taking place in our lives, or maybe in the greater scheme of things again, and finding that we have, like, again, the strength and knowledge or wisdom and all we need, whatever that may be, to meet whatever challenges are ahead of us, to face any and everything that comes our way when we have this energy of the magician. And in general, it's just a very positive time. So it's a very positive week. And I think the cards show that in general, like as a whole as well, with the exception, again, of maybe the Eight of Swords. It's important also to know, like, we have to make the most of this opportunity, make the most of this week, make the most of, you know, in a chance to rapidly manifest. Because even though it's a super positive card and it means a lot of wonderful things, at the end of the day, it's still only about potential. It's about energy that's going to be around, right? Again, for me, the major arcana cards represent karmic energy, karmic situations. So it's definitely going to be around. But what are you going to do with it? Without you doing something with it, it's still just potential, right? So that's what it's about. All right, so moving on to the Eight of Swords. Again, this tells us that we could be holding ourselves back from, you know, moving into the future. And I said we should be excited about the future. So we don't want to do that. Or because we're, you know, we're worried or afraid about getting hurt or not being successful or both, you know, we avoid, you know, taking steps and doing things and even following the guidance that we receive through those signs and synchronicities. It's like, oh, yeah, I feel like I should call him, but no, I'm not gonna, you know, because what if he reacts nasty? Well, maybe that's what's meant to happen. You know, that could happen. I'm not saying it's not possible that you're going to call somebody up, or him or her, and they're not going to, you know, cuss you out. But maybe that's what needs to happen so that you get the idea, or you get the memo. Don't call this person again. Or maybe it can have the outcome that you want, but you won't know either. There's still only the potential, right? And you won't know either to be true unless you get over the fear and take the action that you got to take. So it's that sort of thing. We got to think through what it is we're afraid of and just acknowledge that the truth of the situation is probably a lot less frightening than what our mind is making it out to be, especially in consideration of this energy of swords, metal, air, right? These are the signs of people. So it's the energy, the attributes of one who, you know, in their mind, they're just always stuck there. They're always stuck in the mind. They're always stuck in their head, right? And trying to figure out everything in the head without necessarily actually doing. So that's what it warns against. It also tells us, again, we have to be open to defeat. So like I said, yeah, so you may call somebody that you move to call to, and they may cuss you out, you know, and so you'll feel defeated. But if you don't ever take that chance, how are you ever going to win? Right? It's 50-50. So we win or we lose, right? And very rarely something in between. But we won't know either way if we don't actually do. And this is going to be true, you know, in any area of your life this week. It's all about the need to evaluate what you're afraid of and what you're experiencing, and maybe, you know, communicate, get clarity, and communicate with yourself or with your higher self or with the universe, if not with somebody else, to, you know, remember this message. And again, this one trumps this one. And then maybe you can move out of this energy. But what we may be worried about is some sort of partnership and or balance in our partnerships. Healthy relationships could be about what we're worried, because the card in the position of our surrounding energy is the Two of Wands, and twos are of any suit or element are always about relationship and balance, and how important it is to you know, to maintain or achieve or seek at least balance in any and every way that we can in every area. Even like boring stuff like, right, a balanced diet, or again, having a good time or working hard, but also getting enough rest. You know, there needs to be balance in basically everything that we do. With this placement of the Two of Wands being about surrounding energy and like close friends, family members, romantic interests, co-workers, and things like that, it would be balance in those areas and or partnership in those areas, right? Combinations of the two together. It reminds us to be mindful of also the give and take that's required for a healthy and successful relationship. And if things feel out of balance in that way, you know, whether we're realizing, hey, I don't, you know, call them as much as they call me. Again, we're afraid of this call, but, you know, they call me a lot more. Maybe I should do it just for that reason. It's time. Or, you know, to the contrary, I feel like I've been giving so much more to this relationship. It's like a one-sided friendship, and I'm not really digging that. Then again, there's a need for a conversation, for communication between you and the other people. If things are feeling out of balance in general, then this card also says that soon they're going to get, you know, a lot better, and that we should remain focused and sort of keep our eyes on the prize on what it is we're trying to achieve and remain positive. And that's where the manifestation comes in. Moving on to work and finance. Again, the Seven of Cups could be us dreaming about, you know, the business of our dreams, the work of our dreams. We're having a lot of choices, a lot of options, maybe, of different things that we can do for work, maybe multiple income streams, and all that's positive. But it can also mean like the complete opposite, that a business or work deal or situation just seems too good to be true, and that it probably is. And that may be Mercury also, or the retrograde, because we got to be careful in general about entering like new contracts and things with Mercury retrograde. So you guys just to like watch where we put our money, and to whom we give our money, or in whom we put our trust with regard to our money or our work. You know, if somebody says they're going to punch you out, or don't worry, I'll explain to the boss, you know, why you were late or why you're not here yet or whatever, like, make sure you're choosing the right person. And it's a person that you can trust to sort of put your job, your livelihood in their hands. If you, so again, alternatively, and another positive note, if you work or want to work in like in some sort of creative field, then this is a really, really good time to make those moves, or at least progress in those areas. But again, on the other side, so I'm doing a back and forth and a give and take and balance thing here too. On the other side, if your job is more like analytical, mathematical, you know, business-like, then it warns you about being too much in your head right now. So we got to look at these two cards together. Being too much in your head, and you need to refocus, or you may make a mistake or something like that. And of course, that would be problematic at most jobs. Finances, specifically, not a good time to make investments. If you feel like you really, which again, Mercury retrograde isn't necessarily a good time for that anyway. If you really feel like you must, then maybe you want to consult a professional, perhaps a King of Swords, right? He is professional. He is diplomatic at his core, and he maybe who can help you. Or do a lot of research and like homework first before you make a move, you know. But it's possible that you may be also like too scattered business-wise, and maybe again you're trying to put a bunch of things out there, and it could be because of multiple income streams or your multiple ideas, and it's possible that there's a need for a little bit more focus, maybe narrowing something down and focusing on prioritizing some over the other, and like wherever you are strongest, maybe focusing on those and letting something go for now, at least in your work and finance life. Love and relationship, we got one of the best cards that you can get for love and relationship. We got the Lovers. Again, this is major arcana, so it's like love, boom, huge, big love is going to be like take center stage this week. In our lives, and again, maybe that's because of Valentine's Day, and the Lovers is about true love. So it really is tying in for me into the Aquarius new moon, which is also about true love, like really genuine connections and healthy relationships, whether that is platonic or romantic. Also, there can be a new relationship or a really strong and powerful like reconnection and sort of renewing or rebonding of an old one. I had a conversation this morning actually with one of my clients who is going to be spending time with their ex over Valentine's weekend, and they claim to have no interest in said ex in terms of romance. And I said, well, you know what? To me, it's a little dangerous to be spending time with an ex in whom you have no interest Valentine's Day weekend and like staying in their home. So if that is true, that you have no interest, I suggest you make it abundantly clear. Or if you decide that's not true, you've been lying to yourself and you do have an interest, that you make that abundantly clear, but also that you seek to start something anew rather than have this be an extension of your past relationship. And I think that's one of the messages that's coming through with this card too, for others of you who may be experiencing something similar, or, you know, just are revisited by your past, and you got to make a decision. Either way, I think you'll be happy about how love or romance is touching you this week. That we may find ourselves with a glow, even those of us who are single. Again, it's just like that love is in the air type of thing, and very possible to meet somebody. It's really, really serious, strong stuff for the Lovers to show up in the position of love and relationship, you know. So it could definitely mean a new relationship. It could be deepening of commitment, you know, meeting each other's families and getting engaged, or I don't know, maybe even getting married this week for somebody. We saw that a lot last week too, in last week's reading. And just about sharing happiness, love, and joy with those around us who need it. Again, this can even be in platonic ways, just exuding love and sharing love. And just life will just be, feel sort of blissful, which is a good thing. I'm sure we could all use a little bit of that, especially after 2020 and the start of 2021. In terms of our physical health, this is not a bad card, the Four of Swords, like I said. It could mean that our health isn't necessarily what we want it to be or where we want it to be, right? This guy's, he's laying down, he's recovering from war, right? So he's getting his strength back. He doesn't have all his strength. So he's not in his prime. He's not at his best right now. But he's not down and out either. So it means the same for us. May not be where we want it to be, but it's definitely better than many other people, especially right now, right? Given the pandemic around the world. A lot of people are in a lot less good health as we are. And we should definitely be thankful, grateful for what we have and what we're experiencing. It can also, though, like I said, show a need to sort of slow down and take it easy, or maybe even to get some physical sleep, because it does warn about pushing ourselves when we're too tired, because that can cause illness or injury, and just all beings need rest, right? And rest doesn't have to mean sleep. Rest can just mean pulling your energy back, right? And maybe spending some time by yourself, even if you're in a awakened state. And lastly, our spiritual health. Judgment in reverse reminds us that we have to be open to new ideas and experiences, because that's what life is about, right? Change. That's a constant in life. It doesn't mean that we have to be open to changing our things all willy-nilly, like every week, from week to week, we're willing to change our spiritual practices or religious practices or whatever that is, our belief systems. I mean, that doesn't make sense, obviously. So it doesn't mean that, but just, open to questioning and wondering. It says that we'll benefit from looking at new ideas, different approaches to things, and we might not understand how at this point, like how we can, benefit, but one day it may serve us. Like, for example, I've shared with you guys in the past that, I've practiced and studied Christianity. I wanted to be a nun at a very young age, 12. I decided I was going to be a nun, and I started implementing the things that I needed to do in order to be one. Almost moved into a convent. I've studied and practiced Judaism. I've shared with you that before. My godmother's Jewish. So from the time I was very small, I've been, learning of that culture as well. I've studied and practiced Islam. I shared that with you as well. That, I married the grandson rather, of the owner of Mosque Number 1 in Harlem, here in New York. And we studied and practiced Islam. And now I'm studying and practicing, metaphysics. And still some of each too, though, of those other practices. So I may not have realized it back then when I was learning them and studying them and practicing them. But now in my life, they've become useful, and I can share that knowledge with other people, with you guys. So there's that. And, particularly in the Western world, like especially here in America, because it's largely a Christian country, even though it was founded on, not needing to share religious beliefs or to have any at all, right? It was founded on religious freedom. That was why they escaped England, the founders. But somehow, they ended up falling right back into a pattern of religiosity. And so a lot of times with Americans, Christianity can be the only thing that we can think of, and our minds don't sort of expand beyond that. And we don't understand how other people operate, because we're like, well, that doesn't align with Christian values. Well, not everybody gives a crap about Christian values, to be honest. America's not the world. The world is a very big place. It's been around for a long time, and there are a lot of practices that were, established before Christianity was even a thing. Jesus himself was not a Christian, and was about this very sort of behavior of being open to other things, right? He was a Jew that thought outside the box and tried to get others to. That's why he was murdered, for saying, listen, we don't have to practice these Jewish rules anymore. You know, I've been shown. How was he shown, right? He was a psychic. I've been shown new rules. I've been given new practices that they're a lot better, a lot more freeing. Practice these, you know. So he was open-minded. He was one of these people that this card means us to be this week. I'm just going to add a little to these with the other deck that we pre-shuffled for additional messages in each of these placements. So again, beginning first with the one that will most directly, well, we have clear yourself, opposite the Magician, first and foremost. And then the other one that will match up with the Eight of Swords and most directly represent us this week is Third Eye Chakra. It is safe for you to see the energy of love in all of its forms, such as angels, auras, and visions. That reminds me, somebody commented on the orbs. I saw them, but I didn't point them out. I didn't realize they were going to be able to be picked up. When I changed my lighting, it made it difficult to see them, but they're still here. They never left or anything. But this, I think, in part speaks to stuff like that. And that message even speaks to this part, like to those who are afraid of sort of going outside of the box in terms of stepping away from different belief systems. Christianity may speak of, for example, against things like, you know, seeing auras. You know, it may tell you something's wrong with you if you have that ability. I mean, it's done that over the years to many people, even people that we now today accept as canonized saints. You know, in the Christian religion, there was a time at first where they were told, like, you know, you can't go around saying you saw Mary. Like, what are you talking about? You know, or you can't go around saying you healed people. Jesus heals people, you know, stuff like that, which of course is wrong. And this is reaffirming it's okay. The Bible actually reaffirms it's okay too. We just don't pay close enough attention. Like, even with the resurrection, this is probably one of the hugest parts where it talks about Jesus being resurrected. It talks about other people being resurrected too. It wasn't only him. It says, and other saints, other people, other beings, you know, illumined beings also stood up, also came back to life, is what it says, right? But we just recognize the Jesus part. And again, maybe speak against other people who appear to have psychic abilities and things, and, you know, say that it's bad, and the Bible talks against it, and that's actually not true. In fact, it also says, I told you I studied the Bible and studied Christian. It also says that the greatest gift of the Holy Spirit is that of prophecy. So the ability to see things in advance and talk about them. All right, anyway, moving on to surrounding energy, close friends, family members, co-workers. It is Goddess. Express your divine feminine energy, embracing its magical intuition and nurturing qualities. Because this could be talking about balance also. Like maybe we've been heavily masculine. Or maybe we are dealing with someone who is heavily masculine and we need to align. We need the yin and the yang, right? So we need to come across with our feminine energy being very strong this week. Work and finance. Ascended masters. Powerful, loving, and wise spiritual teachers are watching over and guiding you. So when you are having those thoughts about, again, something's too good to be true, or can I trust this person? Can I not trust this person? This is who is guiding us if we look to it. And so we can be shown which is the better path to take and who to trust and who not to trust and so on. Love and relationship. Singing and dancing. Very nice. Express yourself and awaken your psychic senses through the magical power of music and movement. This may also be one of the ways that we receive the messages, the signs and synchronicities. I talked about that in the Aquarius new moon reading, about a lot of messages coming through clairaudience. Physical health. Vacuum away fear. Okay, and Isn't that perfect? Because again, this card, the Eight of Swords, the one that most directly represents us this week, is about the fear. So that could be affecting our physical health. Call upon Archangels Michael and Raphael. Raphael slipped in. He was going to get in here one way or another, I guess. To lift fear-based energy from you, from your surroundings, and this situation and everyone involved. And last but not least, our spiritual health. Earth Angel. How perfect is that? You are a light worker who has come to Earth to teach about love. And I have to agree, if you're watching my channel. Further advice to the masculine among us watching this reading. The person you're inquiring about is an indigo, meaning a highly sensitive, natural-born leader. I think the person you're inquiring about, especially this week, in consideration of judgment in reverse, is you. So this is saying you are an indigo, or again, a light worker. And feminine for us, it is vegetarian or vegan. Fresh organic fruits and vegetables give you a boost of high life force energy, which elevates your spiritual frequency. So again, we're focused on this area of judgment in reverse and the spiritual health. Further, to the masculine, share your voice. Come out of the cave. Persecution, expression. So don't be in fear, worried about what people think about you. Maybe, again, tied to your spiritual life, maybe tied to your love life, your choices, maybe tied to your work, your choices. You want to do something creative. They say that doesn't make sense, right? Who does that when you can have a business job? And this is about not fearing persecution, expressing yourself the way you choose to. And for the feminine, get grounded. Empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. So we're sort of ending where we started on that conversation about earth signs and such, in the year of the ox and all of that. And I used a lot of time. I'll come back maybe and talk about that stuff, or maybe I will just do a separate video like I'd originally planned, because I want to be able to get this one up without too much trouble and needing Movie Maker and all that kind of stuff. Please do like, share, subscribe, comment. I do appreciate it. That's what YouTube keeps saying we need, even though it doesn't seem to help much. They still don't. I still have people who are subscribed to me that can't find me on YouTube and have to search and still have trouble finding me. And we still don't seem to get recommended, but I appreciate you continuing to do it. Namaste.